You know, a little bit of cat, a little bit of a clap.
You can do a pretty good clap.
Thanks. Don't trust this man. My name's Steven. How you doing? I'm okay. Thank you for asking. Just a little bit under the weather. I hope your Thanksgiving was okay. If it wasn't, I'm sorry. Happy Tuesday after Cyber Monday, after Black Friday, after Thanksgiving. 1,001 things I guess I could talk about. I've had a few things rolling around in my head. And actually, up until this very moment, I haven't been sure as to what I wanted to talk about. This is a thought that I had the other day. I don't know even, I'm not sure how I'm going to unpack it, but I had the thought that, so I was thinking about last week's topic. You know, I showed that video from 3 years ago when I was younger and lighter. And I think in that video I talked about, you know, the holidays and how they're not easy for everybody. And it can be difficult for some people, the holidays. And I actually thought about how I was feeling a little low, a little blue over the past 5 or 6 days about things. And I began to sort of catastrophize in my mind. I began thinking, oh my God, I'm going to ruin the holidays for my family because I'm not happy. And I thought if I'm not happy and joyful and festive, then Christmas will be horrible for my kids, and it just snowballed. And then I stopped and thought, man, it's funny. Life just isn't fair. You don't get to pick, in a way, how you feel or when you feel how you feel. And then I thought, yeah, life isn't fair. God isn't fair. Come on, God. And that idea has been rolling around in my brain. I think I mentioned it today in conversation with a friend at work. Or maybe I did mention it today. Anyway, I was thinking it. God isn't fair, is he? She? Not in the way we usually describe fairness. What does that even mean? Who defines the terms? What is it? What should I get? Right? You often hear people talk about how it's good that God isn't fair because we deserve hell or death or punishment or hemorrhoids or something terrible for our sins. I get that. It is true. In my life, I have things that I don't deserve. It's not fair. It's better than fair. But on the flip side, things happen to me that I can't trace back to a particular sin or a thing that I did, and I know I can hear some of you, right? Original sin, and it's every sin is a curse and all that stuff. Here's my point. Wait, do I have a point? Life doesn't always go the way we want it to. Sometimes you get depressed on the Saturday after Thanksgiving for no reason. While, as I've talked about before, maybe there's something you could or should do. Talk to a friend, talk to a counselor, pray, ask for forgiveness, give forgiveness. Maybe there are things that you need to do. I don't want to be the agent of absolution when it isn't necessarily my call. I don't know your life, and I can't speak into your life in that way. What I did want to say is, it's okay. It's okay to be sad even though you didn't plan for it. And it's okay to recognize that life and God aren't fair. It's okay to recognize it in the positive, that when my son or my daughter or my wife tell me they love me, that's not fair. Fair would be them saying, why aren't you a better father or a better husband? On the flip side, when I continue to pray for the same thing that I've been praying for 7 years, and it feels like it's just not fair, how hard do I have to pray, God? What do you want from me? That's okay too. That's not, the answer may not be there. God may not answer. If you look at the way God answers those sort of this isn't fair kind of moments in the Bible, it's not very satisfying. God isn't as worried about his image in that sense as a lot of us are. God doesn't say, oh, let me explain to you why this happened. God says, as he does to Job, oh, those are good questions. Let me ask you some questions. Maybe all I'm saying is this: don't be afraid to recognize that sometimes life is just life. Sometimes God doesn't do the things we want God to do. And that might kind of piss you off, and that's okay. A few weeks ago, I mentioned wading through things versus wallowing in them. Maybe that's applicable here. Maybe don't stay stuck in the way you feel. But also don't be afraid to feel the way you feel. It's okay. Something else entirely different, and then I'll be done. I've done a whole episode on cussing. It was some time ago. But let me just deal with this straight out. I love expletives. I love when they're well used. I love them as conversation enhancers. I like a well-placed F-bomb, whatever it might be. But in talking about doing this kind of thing, my wife has a very strong opinion that I should avoid going blue, as it were. I should avoid expletives because it limits the shareability, and it might, in some sense, limit the potential impact that things I say could have. Super supportive. I don't know if I think things I say have any impact, and she believes that the things I say can. So that's not fair. I don't deserve that kind of support and encouragement. So I really want to have a conversation. I want you to let me know. You can let me know on the Facebook page. You can let me know at Twitter at thisisdttm. Comment on Facebook. You can email me, Steven@don'ttrustthisman.net. If I were to employ expletives in an episode of Don't Trust This Man, would that change the way you feel about either viewing it or potentially sharing it? And do you share these? I mean, do you approach these in a sort of from the perspective of sharing, or is it a matter of just consuming and moving on? I'm curious, and I've always been interested and really thankful for those moments when you, whoever you are, actually interact with me. Thank you for the questions you've asked. Thank you for the support you've given me, both in my real life, people I see and interact with, and people that have supported me via message and electronic means. It's really, really good to see you. It's good to talk to you. I pray that God would be with you in peace. And I truly pray that you'd find strength in him. Until we're together again, be well.
Hello, Snow. Hey, Snowman. Hey, Steven.